Hey everyone, we have another great episode of the Roll Radio ahead for you. But before we get there, please remember to share our posts, hit the like, subscribe, download, or whatever other button there is, and leave us a review wherever you listen. This will help us to continue bringing you the great content and amazing guests you have come to expect. Now, let's get to the show. Helio Soneca Moreira has had an incredible jiu-jitsu career, including being the first featherweight world champion, one of the first black belts out of Gracie Barra, and so much more. Listen as he tells stories about coming up back in the earliest days of Gracie Barra Academy, how he got his nickname Soneca, which means sleepy, and how that nickname has become so synonymous with Helio that it is often mistaken for his real name, and how he feels about the state of jiu-jitsu here in the United States. He does this all with his own boisterous and incredible sense of humor. Here is 6th degree black belt under Carlos Gracie Jr., Helio Soneca Moreira.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we are live. Gary, how are you, sir?
I am fantastic. I always love when we do these. And if you look at the guest's lineage, there's only like 2 or 3 names before their name. And we have one of those guests today. So I think we're going to get a lot of great stories about the old days and how things have evolved over time. But before we get to the guest, therollradio.com, take the survey to win a free Fuji gi. We've given away, I think, 5 now, and we're going to continue this throughout the year. All you got to do is take a 1-question survey, and you are entered to win a free Fuji gi. And they've got great stuff and new stuff coming out all the time.
Yeah, Lord, get yourself a gi. Everybody's just go get the gis.
It's free.
But listen, before we start with our guest, did you find your phone?
Did I find my? Oh, this is an old story. You're bringing this up now?
Yes, I do.
It's an old story. We've all had those moments. I was on my phone with my brother talking about something, and I was also at the computer, and he asked me for some information that was on my phone, and I spent the next few minutes maybe looking for my phone while I was talking to him on my phone. And I was very frustrated, and there was a lot of swearing, and I was clearing things off the desk. But eventually I realized how stupid I was and was able to get back to reality.
This makes me feel really confident in my co-host.
Hey, I'm here for comedic purposes. So.
Listen, let's get to the show. Professor Helio Soneca. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing, guys? How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. You're doing well?
I'm doing great.
You've been traveling quite a bit, huh?
No, I slowed down. I'm becoming old,
Old? What are you talking about? You're like 21 right now. No?
Outside I look at 18, but inside I look 75.
Fair enough. But Rosen, this brings us to a good point. You've been around the jiu-jitsu community for a very, very long time. You're one of the very first ones out there, right? I think of it as you're like generation 2 in jiu-jitsu. And I'm hoping we're gonna get some good stories from you today, especially from like old school days. Gary, who did we talk to? There was 2 or 3 people that was like, you got to talk to Soneca. You got to talk to Soneca. He got crazy.
Oh, there's been
I think Draculino dropped your name a few times. Yeah,
there's been a few people, and I think and if you know anything about Professor. He's funny. He's a lot of fun. He's got great stories, and he's been at it for a long time. And if you hear the names of who he came up with, who he beat over the years, it's really amazing. And winner of the first Worlds, correct?
Yeah, I am the first second black belt world champion.
Nice.
At the featherweight.
How was the competition way back in the day?
The competition that day was not so tough like right now, not so rough, but it was good. I have, except in my division, 2 or 3 guys amazing. Then show up in the final, one guy who's nobody knows, and he became very famous did the fight against me, Megaton Diaz. Nobody know who he was.
No, nobody knew
Till
Magaton
there.
back then, huh? Nobody knew.
I found out by myself. He almost made me pass out
You found out the hard way.
He almost
the
made you
hard
pass.
way
What do you mean? What do you mean he almost made you pass out?
because he surprised me with his baseball choke,
Uh-huh.
and he almost got me. I passed out for a little bit, but I recovered and defend.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's a story right there. So how did you guys learn? So like on a serious note, like back then there was no phones, there was no internet, there was no social media. How did you find out about tournaments? How did you find out about your competitors? Like you even said yourself, nobody knew Magaton, nobody knew who he was. I mean, he's one of the biggest names in jiu-jitsu today.
Jiu-jitsu before was more like every school was like a church. And then our church make a meeting together because if you realize 90% of the schools coming from the Gracie family.
Yeah.
Then, example, Alliance, Mr. Jacaré, he was Hollis Gracie student. Carlos Gracie Maestroc was Hollis Gracie student. Rickson Grace was Helio from Gracie family. Carson Grace there, and a student of the students, them become a big community and start to spread out the jiu-jitsu, you know? That's the way you always train because being the competition was like 3 or 4 competition year, but like if somebody else spread out the word, everybody knows and everybody's trying to go there.
How many
because
people?
It was it's like go to the tournament was nice to see fights and to see beautiful girls too, and everybody wanted to go there.
Well, hold on a second. Which one did you go for? Did you go for the beautiful girls or did you go for the competition?
Both, you know. I know how kiss and make love at the same time.
I love it. How big were the competitions? So first of all, what year is this? What year is this?
I mean, it's the biggest tournament was Copa Company. It was like the World Championship today. It was like 300 guys, 400 guys maximum.
Oh, so that's pretty big. I mean,
it was big. And the other one very famous was Atlântico Sul Cup. Was inside the subdivision, and the was funny because no roofs was in the tennis court. When it started running, the guys put a plastic on top of the mat, and we need to wait to the run pass to start over.
So you're saying that there were rain delays at jiu-jitsu?
Yes. Yes.
Why did you guys stop? Why did you guys stop when it was raining?
Because the mat was the old mat. They could not be wet like that.
Yeah, it's soaking up, right?
Yeah, was that.
I'm just kidding. But that's interesting. I didn't know that the tournaments were so big. I always thought they were much smaller and they grew over time, especially when things moved over to US later in 90s, right? But you saying that they were pretty big. Was jiu-jitsu popular?
No, I did a tournament. I hosted a tournament one time. The last tournament I hosted in Brazil was Alpha Barra Cup. I hosted this tournament with 1,200 students, competitors.
Whoa!
Yes. These are years, I think it was in 97.
97. And what belts are allowed? Is it from white to black?
Was white to black belt.
Everybody, huh? Everybody. 1,200 students. Wow, that's huge.
No, I'm sorry. I think it was white to purple belt.
White to purple, and it was still 1,200.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Interesting. How different are tournaments between back then in the day and today? I mean, you've seen it quite large variety of them, right? I mean,
today the tournament is more professional, has more respect. Before was it's like you are in the what was like you being the host fight. You know, people's outside yell you, people's invaded the ring to talk with the referees. Was little bit wide.
Yeah.
And now it's more
Wild.
polite, more professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, who I think Draculino was telling us that Carlson Gracie team one time they all just walked. They were upset about a call, so they all just walked out on the mats and sat down, and like nobody could.
Yeah, because he was against the referee decision,
Mm-hmm.
and he did this. Well, it was nice. It was nice. I loved that time.
Do you have any good stories for us? Anything interesting happen? I have a feeling you're holding off right now.
The good stories about I have all my stories are with Ryan beside me. Oh, it was fun, like throw water bottles in the referee, try fight with the referees. One time I was a referee and I disqualified 2 guys, and the one leader Ismail start yelling outside. Then I spit on him. Just things like this.
Professor, come on. Was it really that rough? Was it like all the time that way? Or it's very difficult to imagine because today they are, like you said, they are by far more professional.
Yeah, was different. It's like I think our sports in the past was different. Everything in the past, including soccer. Before, like 20 years ago, was one way, like the crowd invaded the field.
True.
Have a fence between the field and where is the game?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the jiu-jitsu. Before I used to have a fence. Now, no. Now people are more polite. It's different. Everything is changing for better.
Yeah. Do you think that jiu-jitsu changed too? Like jiu-jitsu itself? Do you think that jiu-jitsu getting better now, improving versus what it was?
Yes. A lot of guys from my age, because old people like to complain. They talk, old style, new style. No, it's because everybody have the same good level. Then when the guys have the same level, making the fights be more boring. Like 2 good guys gonna play chess against each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny if you go in the tournament to watch white belts fight. Not so boring. That's the reason, you know. I think the level now is good. I need to learn the new jiu-jitsu style. I need to learn. It's not the new boys' fault. It's my fault if I don't learn and if I don't continue learning jiu-jitsu, because who is think you know everything does not know nothing.
So are you still learning? Are you still improving?
Of course, I'm still a student.
Because a
I
lot of
learn
people
from the white belt. I learn from white belts and from black belts. I learn all the time.
Because a lot of people think that once you achieve a black belt, like you know a lot, and at that point you don't have to learn. Some people even listen. There are a lot of black belts who stop training after they achieve the black belt. You know that, right?
But this is the difference in the jiu-jitsu for another martial arts. When you get the black belt in jiu-jitsu, where's the game start? Where you really start to learn, you need to train more. Because the purple belt's coming behind you to eat you.
That is true. They're trying to take your head off all the time.
From purple belt to black belt, no difference. No difference. Just a little experience. You need to train.
So you're saying that purple belts typically have the same skill as black belts? They just need more.
Yes.
They just have more experience.
Also, a lot of blue belts today too.
Really? Wow. Why do you think people learn so fast? Why do you think jiu-jitsu is getting so good?
Because people become addicted.
Oh.
They become a professional. The guys step in the mat. Oh, I'm going to do my first jiu-jitsu class. And then you ask your student, what's your goal? My goal is to be a world champion Brazilian jiu-jitsu. They have this goal. Before, you used to go to jiu-jitsu just to protect yourself. People now want to go to jiu-jitsu to be a jiu-jitsu champion or UFC champion.
Wow. Do you think everybody wants to be a world champion?
I tell my students, I don't know if you want to be a world champion, training like one.
Mm. Do you let me ask you this. Do you think everybody can be a world champion? Do you think everybody can achieve that level?
Man, I don't believe in this. You don't choose the sport chooses you.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I've heard that before.
You know,
Explain
know,
that for those who don't know what that means.
have some guys train a lot, and some guys don't train too much and are very talented.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you? You're talking about making it a career, becoming a world champion, and I heard you a few years back, say something about you had a teacher that told you jiu-jitsu would never take you anywhere, and obviously it has. And is this story true that you found this teacher later in life? They were struggling a little bit with some financial payments, and you helped take
she
care
was
of that?
she was in the hospital with a problem to pay the bills, and I spoke with a couple of friends, and you pay her bill.
And you paid the bill for her. That's amazing. Did she know
Yes.
you did it? Does she know you did it?
No,
No. So just out
you
of
don't do things to show people. You do things for God.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
Well, I was just going to say, because I think a lot of people, when you have somebody in your life who tells you what your dreams are, aren't, they're not going to amount to anything, and not, show them, look, this is what I did for you, not to throw it in their face or anything, but just to say, hey, look where it did get me, and to do it behind the scenes, I think says a lot about your character.
Yes, like in the life, I am the kind of guy is like this. In the life, people say, oh, you need to motivate this guy. Oh, you need to tell he's good. Doesn't matter if he's not, but you need to tell him, man, you are good. You can go well. Oh, man, it's good. But if you do 5 steps to the right, it's going to be much better. This means wrong, I am the kind of person, all my motivation was when people's coming for me and they say, you cannot do it. You are stupid. You are this. People's laughing for me when I told, I'm going to be a jiu-jitsu champion with 14 years old. Everybody laughed. Then I become a jiu-jitsu champion. Then I am the kind of guy, more you laugh from me, it's a challenge. You know what I mean? I want to prove. I want to close your mouth. I want to give you the lesson. Makes sense?
Yeah. So more people told you can't do it. More it drove you to actually prove them wrong.
My zodiac is Scorpion. The Scorpion is the mean zodiac.
Hey, listen, I didn't know this. I just found out that. Tell me the story about your nickname. Okay, do you want to share the story about your nickname?
I used to play hockey.
Yeah.
For a famous team in Brazil named Casa de Portugal.
I did like ice hockey.
No, was for skate hockey.
Okay.
Yeah, roller
dice. Okay.
Before roller.
No, it's not a roller. It's 4 wheels. Skate hockey.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I used to be the guy being the goalie, and the mask was iron, and the guy shoot the ball. Was like a boliche ball, but it's small. And it hit my head, broke the mask, the helmet, and it hit on my side here. I passed out for 2 minutes. Then they call me Soneca. Soneca means sleep. But I have a problem to sleep. I stay 2-3 days without sleep.
Yeah, you stay up all the time. Yeah.
How ironic.
How many people think that Soneca is your last name? I bet a lot, right?
Man, everybody, including my grandmother. Sometimes
Wait a minute.
My house. I want to talk with the Helio. Oh, Helio. Okay, Soneca. My first paycheck from US Army was Helio Soneca.
Oh, that's
Soneca as my last name. One time he bought a ticket for me to teach a seminar. He wrote at the ticket Helio Soneca. I could not.
You couldn't cash it, right? Well, there you go. If you have Professor at the Academy, don't write Helio Soneca on the check. That's it.
But the good thing too, I went to London to teach a seminar, and the person from the immigration look there. You come here to teach a seminar. You are a fighter. No, I come here to see my girlfriend. I was lying, no? Let me see your name. Then she put my name, Helio Moreira. She could not find nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can.
Yeah.
When the guy announced the seminar, he put Helio Soneca.
There you go. Well,
So you could
so
go
it works both
incognito
ways.
with your real name.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
nice.
works,
Nice.
works both ways. Yeah. Listen, we heard, or I heard that Gary actually told me that recently you made some statements that U.S. is one of the best places to train jiu-jitsu when it comes to tournaments and getting really, really good at it. Is that true? You've traveled around the world. You've seen a lot. Do you think the U.S. is one of the best places to train?
Look, who's the best world champion right now?
Well, and you're making a good point. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bochecha.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, Cobrinha. André Galvão. Who's more? Mendes Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they train?
No, they train here. No, I agree.
Where's the best? Where is the best jiu-jitsu instructors in the world? Here.
Why do you think Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructors come to US instead of staying in Brazil and promoting the sport?
Can I say the bad words?
You can say as many bad words as you like.
Feel free.
In Brazil, have the temptation, party all the time. Everybody want to fuck everybody. Everybody want to have a girlfriend, this, that, and nobody focus there. You come here to train. It's another mentality. That's the reason the United States is the most rich country in the world. There, in Brazil, people want to look nice, look cool. You know what I mean? That's the reason Instagram and Facebook are very popular in Brazil, because Instagram and Facebook does not have sad people. Everybody's happy, everybody's rich, everybody's cool. No? Here in the United States, no, you don't have time to this American mentality. United States people work hard because you are paid by hour. Then you have this mentality since you born. And that's the reason the United States is the number one country in the world with sports. And it's going to be the number one country in the world in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. People's coming from Brazil first. You have a good gyms to work out. You have good vitamins. You have good training partners. You have good wrestling. You have good judo guys. You have everything is good to come to United States. And I believe the United States is going to take jiu-jitsu from us soon. That's the reason I think if you want to be good in jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, come to United States.
And we also heard that jiu-jitsu is kind of frowned upon in Brazil. Is that true? It's not being viewed as professional sport. It's kind of
It's a little bit hard because jiu-jitsu in Brazil is like a religion. You're gonna survive forever.
It'll still be there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very interesting. What about Europe? You travel to Europe a lot?
Have you been to Europe to do seminars, train?
Yes, I used to do a lot.
Oh, are we losing him?
I think we might have a little bit of a connection error here. Yeah.
Are you still with us, Professor?
Yes, I'm here. Beautiful.
There we go. A little bit better.
Really, yeah. You used to travel much more than you do now, right? I mean, especially a few years back. I think that slowed down a little bit for you, but I know you used to travel quite a bit.
Yeah, I slowed down because I took already 5 divorces, then 3 or 4 divorces, not 5, 3 or not a divorce. I have a girlfriend living together, and then I broke out probably with 5 because of this crazy life. Because all girls think I have a woman every port I am. Anyway, because I'm a good-looking guy, but not the truth. Because I don't have time to eat.
Well, do you blame him? You look 18.
Right. Yeah.
Do you blame him? You look 18. I mean,
my mentality is 15 years old,
I understand. I feel like a 15-year-old sometimes too. Well, I mean, but Thomas, you just said not too long ago that when Professor was trying to get a hold of us to do this with us, that he was talking to you, he was FaceTiming you on the beach. Isn't that true?
Yeah, do you remember when we FaceTime and you were in Brazil?
I think so.
Yeah, it was well, it was a couple months ago, but anyway, so so how are things going here in US now? I mean, listen, it's like you started a while back, you know. Let me ask before you answer this, how did you start jiu-jitsu? How did it all start? Why did you start jiu-jitsu from the beginning? Did you do judo before jiu-jitsu, or did you just jump into jiu-jitsu?
No, I went with 7 years old. I used to fight with the big boys in my school, get my butt kicked all the time. Then I decided to go to the gym to learn jiu-jitsu. Then I started taking jiu-jitsu. Then 3 months after, I tried fighting with the guys again. They kick my butt, bam, bam, bam. Then I back to the gym. I train more. Then 6 months after I tried fighting with the guys, they kick my butt again. Then keep the training. They broke my nose. Anyway, then after, I was so dedicated, my instructor put in the competition team, and all the kids who used to kick my butt in the school was in the competition team.
Oh, cool.
That's made me strong.
That's made me strong. Yeah. You often talk about, even now as we are talking, you're talking about this strong mindset of not giving up, and people may be even telling you that you can't do it, and that made you stronger. What do you typically tell students who, you know, sometimes it's hard to train jiu-jitsu, not only because jiu-jitsu is difficult, but also because sometimes we find reasons not to show up. You know, we get lazy, we watch other things. What do you tell? How do you motivate your students?
I tell them, man, it's like the life. Like jiu-jitsu, is like your life. 70% of your life you are on the bottom. Then you have the happiness, super happiness time, maybe 30%, maybe less. You know, sometimes you can give up. Oh man, I'm gonna suicide, or I don't want to try. And sometimes you are happy on top, but you forget to stabilize there to stay on top for the rest of your life. It's like jiu-jitsu. You are on the bottom, protect yourself, then you sweep, you go on top. Then you are there. But you can be on the bottom and give up before the guy tries to submit you. You're going to fight before the guy don't submit you. Also, if he submit you, you go give your best. Sometimes pass you out. Sometimes like he break your arm. I tell my students, let me make you pass out. Some people take drugs. Look, pass out like you take drugs. You know what I mean? That's the thing I talk to the guys. Jiu-jitsu is like the life. You're going to be on the bottom 70% of the time, but sometimes you're going to sweep, you're going to be on top, you're going to survive. If you submit, it's like winning the lottery.
Oh yeah, that's a good mentality. Yeah. If you submit, it's like winning a lottery. Yeah. Do you think that submitting is the ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu, or do you think it's more about finding these openings and maneuvering through these situations?
For me, my jiu-jitsu, Soneca, it's controlling your part, protect, have a good defense, then control your part. Like the triangle. The triangle means control, defense, control, then attack. I think controlling.
Yeah, recently we had the opportunity to train and speak with Professor Octavio Couto, and he talked about controlling in a very similar fashion. That's one of the most important parts of the jiu-jitsu, right? And
you drive the car does not drive you.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I like that. Gary, what do you think about that?
Well, I tend to agree, especially now where I'm at, that the more you control your partner, those submissions will come, right? Eventually. And if you can control, so I wish
jiu-jitsu could be like, I wish you could do this your lifestyle with your wife, control your wife, make sure relax.
No,
you
be
can't
sure to make sure she doesn't listen to this one. But
she do this on you. She's
well, yes.
This is the reason women are great for jiu-jitsu.
Because they know how to control things.
Yeah.
I like it. Yes, true. But those submissions will come, and I think for me, I think what's more demoralizing sometimes getting tapped out right away, or just being stuck for minute
Yeah.
after minute. Right?
I don't think it. I have a big example. My example is Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. I don't think Mike Tyson needs to go to the box ring to have fun. He go there to kill people. And Muhammad Ali used to go there to have fun. This is the reason Muhammad Ali became the legend, and Mike Tyson is just Mike Tyson.
That's a unique way to look at it. I don't know. I don't know. I see where you're coming from, but I'm not sure about that one. So going back a little bit to what you were saying about the U.S. being the best place to train, the best place where the champions are made now. Where exactly do you see us going then in the next 5-10 years? What do you think is going to happen?
It's gonna be, I think, man, to be honest, the same time, I think every year it's gonna be better. I think maybe in 5 years, like now you see a lot of students, they change academies, they go to another school. And I see probably in 5-10 years, the same instructor teach for me to beat you, your school gonna buy him to train you to beat me. Make sense?
Do you think the instructors are gonna start changing places where they train?
Like you
become
buy
better
coach. You're gonna buy coach, like a coach change football teams, basketball teams. I think gonna be like this with the jiu-jitsu soon.
Do you think jiu-jitsu is going to become so popular it's going to become like a normal sport, like soccer or swimming or tennis, or is it going to take a little bit more time, or is it even going to get there? Because some think about jiu-jitsu as being boring, because it is kind of, when you watch it, it's kind of boring, right? I mean, if you don't know what's going on,
it's boring. I think jiu-jitsu is gonna be hard to go to the next level, competition. Because I am grateful for everything IBJJ did for us. But Carlos Gracie cannot be the president forever. One day need to be Jacaré from Aliança. Maybe in 5 years need to be André Perdeneiras from Nova União. In 5 years after this, gonna be Julio from GF team. I think we cannot be the same staff forever. We need a change.
What change do you think we need? What do you think should change?
I think you need to change the new ideas. Yeah, I like it, but now it's buying. In 5 years, gonna be Obama again, or gonna be Trump again. We need to change presidents. Cannot be the same forever.
Do you think that's possible?
If the jiu-jitsu community wants, will be possible.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's all driven by the community as the community.
But nobody wanted this trouble, no? Carlos Gracie did a great job. Thank you. I want to say thank you him for this, but because a lot of people complain about him, but nobody want to do his job. And Marcelo and André do a fantastic job.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of people who criticize, a lot of people who complain, but nobody wants to get in those shoes and really do the hard work to do what has been done. You absolutely are right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. What do you think needs to change? What do you think needs to improve in jiu-jitsu to get better? Like besides the leadership, besides the ideas.
I think they need to pay. They need to pay the referees better. The referees need to be more professional because more referee trains. That's the only thing can happen to jiu-jitsu now. Neutral people, like example, if you fight American guy with the Brazilian guy. Oh, the Brazilian guy coming from Brazil. He's sport there. Oh, he gonna fight. Oh, this guy have a potential to be world champ. And then the fight it started. Then he looked to Brazilian guy. Oh, he's poor. I'm gonna choose him. It's not right, you know what I mean? You need to choose who you think you really want. Not, oh, he's my friend, you know what I mean? I know because I was a referee. Instead, I give to the guy I don't know, I give to my friends. I was a thief.
Yeah.
A lot of politics and a lot of favoritism, I guess, right? Is that changing now? Do you think it's changing?
It's better, but still.
It's still there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard spot, especially because do you think that's because the community is so small, jiu-jitsu is so small and everybody knows everybody, or you know a lot of people, and then when you in the position of refereeing, you just know most of the competitors, or you know some of them, and then we kind of friends, and it's hard
small
to be...
world, you know, the Brazilian, no Brazilians, no example. If I can help a guy I know, the guy live in my neighborhood, and I help the guy I don't know, I'm gonna help the guy live in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean,
because I am not a professional, but they need to think different.
Do you think other organizations will raise up and kind of, bring more jiu-jitsu, or is it going to be IBJJF is going to be mostly all throughout as it's continue going right now?
Oh my, hold on, let me put you in the charge.
Yeah, plug it in. We don't want to lose you.
Yeah. I think IBJJ is the strong one. I don't see the other ones do well. They try so hard, but could not do.
You all set?
Yes.
There you go.
All right, there we are.
If you're watching this on the video, it might be a little bit dizzy, but you got some awesome trophies in the back behind you over there. I see. You got some belts and some trophies. What are those belts for?
This my school gym is this box. I have a female box world champion, Terry Blair. She won the 3 division. The IBA.
Nice.
IBA, NABC, and I don't know the other one. She was very tough, but she stopped training boxing. She was
Why do you think people stop training? Let's talk about that for a moment, because there's kind of two ways.
Because she was a female world champ. Go there to fight. People pay $2,000, $1,500 to do a fight. Nobody can survive with this, no.
Yeah, so the financial aspect, and I think in jiu-jitsu is pretty similar too. I mean, even some of these.
But jiu-jitsu people pay well. In jiu-jitsu, people pay much better. Like after UFC, jiu-jitsu, grappling tournaments are the one paid the best.
Let's talk a little bit about the people you have trained.
Yeah. Because
Silvas, right? Anderson, Vanderlei, Shogun. What's it like training somebody who's, already that good at the top of their game? How do you get them any better? What do you do to motivate those people?
I never trained Shogun. Shogun was training under my students. Students to teach him. I gave a class to José Pelé Lander, like the legend José Pelé Lander, the first one from shoot box. Then I gave a class to José Pelé Lander and Anderson Silva at that same time. Then after came Anderson Silva and, of course, Master Rudimar. In States, I train a lot of Americans like Brent Widman, Alan Belcher, Miguel Torres, Stefan Bonner. And the Jiu-Jitsu, I gave a class to Roger Gracie, Michel Sapi. I made a lot of world champions, Leandro Slibe, Márcio Feitosa, Cachorrinho. They don't tell my name because they are from Gracie Barra, but they used to be my students,
Yeah, I actually remember. I don't know if you remember this, but I remember when you were training with Carson, or when you were training with Miguel Torres and Stefan Bonner, when you were training
Yeah.
them. I was there at the academy, and I had the privilege to meet you way back. This was like
Nice gym, that was one of the best gym
that was
I went
like
there.
yeah, that was it was like 15, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time. I was good looking back then.
Are
Not
you,
anymore.
you still good to look? Well, hold on. What's happening?
The, ca-
You
the,
Lots of
still,
technical
the
difficulties.
camera broke down when we were talking about me being good looking. Look
Good,
at
yeah, and then
that.
the video cut out.
my camera does not like you.
All right.
All right.
There we go.
Carson
Hey,
Gracie
There we,
was very
Can't-
funny that time,
Your camera keeps sliding. That's okay.
there we go.
But speaking of training professionals, as Gary was talking about this, you are a smaller statue, and you've worked with some of the bigger guys, right? I mean, some of the professionals. I mean, they are huge dudes. What do you think is the big difference between the little guys doing jiu-jitsu and the big guys doing jiu-jitsu? Like, obviously there are physical aspects that we can't manage. What I mean? What do you think is better? Who has what advantages when it comes to jiu-jitsu and grappling in general?
Do you like NBA?
Do I like NBA? Sure. Yeah.
Who's the guys more funny to see? The big guys or the small guy make our game?
Oh, I love the little guys.
Yes. When you choose somebody else to teach your kids, doesn't matter which sport they do, choose the small guys, because the small guys have the technique, have the skills.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And often that's how it's being viewed, because the
I am
smaller guys.
small.
Mhm.
I am small, but I'm a perfectionist. I am small, but when I lay down, everybody, when you go to the ground, everybody have the same size.
So you're saying when everybody goes to the ground, the size is the same because the mat equalizes everybody. The scale's the
It's
same.
like you make a love. You can have a tall one, but when you lay down with
Well,
everybody's gonna be the same
I
size.
get it.
It always comes back.
I'm a little bit slow. Yeah, I get it. When we lay down, we are the same height. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but listen, in reality, when somebody weighs 250 pounds and another person weighs only 120, I mean, that's a huge difference in weight that works against the little guys, right? So how do they deal with that change? How do they deal with that weight difference? What's your recommendation? What's your train of thought when you're training with somebody who's by far?
That's the reason we have it. I became famous. My nickname is the Legend, because I used to fight open class and beat the guys twice my size, three times my size.
Mm-hmm.
But how I did it is with a good technique, with a good defense. Today, people are a black belt in 2 positions and 3 variations. In my time, when I learned jiu-jitsu to fight in the street. My instructor, Carlos Gracie, always say you need to have a good standard, be minimal brown belt level in judo. You need to have a good guard, good game on top, and a good submission. But the most important, you need to have a very good defense. That was my generation. I call the gold generation, the bridge for the old jiu-jitsu for the new jiu-jitsu. That's the thing I recommend to people. If you're gonna train with the big guys, you need to understand your weight. Then you need to use your technique, with your skills, not to try to be strong like a strong guy.
Yeah, so essentially,
you need to fight like a small guy against a big guy.
So
you need to be alive inside, but outside you need to be a little cat.
Yeah, so essentially, what you're saying is that you can't, if you are smaller, you can't fight somebody with their strength. They are going to be stronger than you, no matter what. You have to have big heart and a lot of power inside to find the little spaces and maneuver the situation and take it. I guess find advantages that you have as a small person, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. That's Gary. Did you hear that? You are a small person.
I'm in height.
Me
my
too.
waist size isn't so small anymore. I don't know what happened this past
How
year.
tall are you?
On a good day, 5'8".
On the
On a good day.
he shrinks
I
up.
am 5'6". I'm smaller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, but you've got that technique you're talking about. I don't have that yet. I'm still working on all that stuff. So we'll see. Maybe someday.
How are things going today? Last year was a little bit challenging for everybody. How are you recovering from all this? And what's how is the academy going? How is your teaching going? What's new going on with you?
We lost a couple of students, but the good ones, and then show up good ones too. Was not so bad. I cannot complain, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this year is going to be by far better, and it's if it.
I think I think already started going to be a great year for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
Actually, going to be a great year for everybody.
I agree.
I hope.
Yeah. I'm surprised at the amount of new students that are coming through the door. People that
Oh
are
man,
training for
come
the
every
first
day.
time.
My gym is packed. Every day, sign up with people. Every single day. To be honest, the COVID it was good for me.
Yeah,
That's great.
I agree. I agree.
Thank you, God. No?
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes these bad things lead us to good things, and it just we need to get through them, and we need to see.
I think we're becoming more violent.
I agree.
What was that last part? I didn't hear you.
We're
more,
becoming more valued.
more valued.
More value,
for sure.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad English.
No,
you're fine.
it's the connection. It's not you at all.
You're fine. Listen, we've been at this for a while now, but before we wrap this up, we have a little surprise for you. We have 5 questions for you. We're going to ask you 5 questions. Try to answer them as quick as it comes to your mind. The first thing that comes to your mind, Gary is going to take a lead on this. Some of them are funny, some of them are not funny, but it is an interesting end to the conversation as we slowly going to wrap this up.
Yeah, for sure. So the first question, as always, is what was it like the first time you stepped on the mat?
Do you remember the very, very first day?
Was amazing.
How come? Was it just because you were ready to stop getting beat up all the time, or was it?
No, because when I stepped in the mat, my goal was to punch the guy, spank somebody else in my school. Then I was dreaming with this. It was a dream, but it never came true.
No, it didn't.
It never came true, huh? Hey, did they stop bullying you at some point, or did that continue? Did you ever fight those guys?
They still bully me today. Another day, one day, my brother have a construction store, like Lowe's, What's the other one?
Home
Depot.
Home Depot, but it's small, very small. No, my brother's poor. Anyway,
hardware store.
Then one day show up a woman there and start hitting the door, and she said, I want to buy things here, but I want to pay. And my brother, why you don't want to pay, man? Because your brother's rich. And then my brother, what? What do you say? I used to spank him. He went to the gym. I was spanked by a woman. I used to spank him. Then he went to jiu-jitsu because of me. Then he became, now his name is Helio Soneca. His nickname was Grumpy before. Then my brother called me, brother. He come on the WhatsApp, brother. Do you know this woman? Her name is Denise. She wanted to buy things here, but she doesn't have the money to pay. Then I asked my brother, how much it's gonna be? My brother, $200. Okay, give to her free, but get her address. Then my brother gave to her free. Then 2 weeks after, I went to Brazil, and I got her address like 10 p.m. I started clapping my hand, Denise! And she went to the window. Who's this? Is your husband? My husband, he slept with me. No, I am your real husband. I'm your man. Then her husband got a a gun, a 40 gun, and both coming down to talk with me. What's up? Why you want to call my wife? I said, Denise, it's me. Helio, Soneca. Soneca! She came up, she made the dinner for me. And I was looking for this woman for 30 years to say thank you for kicking my butt.
That's an awesome story.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right. I forgot where I was at. Number 2, what has been your most rewarding achievement?
Be world champion Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, and you hit it pretty early.
What did it feel like? Do you remember that time, the first, you in that final match, you winning, you finished, it's all done. They raise your hand. What did it feel like? Magaton is on the other side. I mean, at that time, maybe he's not as famous, but today he is. I mean, one of the biggest names in jiu-jitsu, right?
That time I did not realize. Today I know I'm a hero. I'm going to be the world champion forever.
All right. Number 3 here. Have you ever wanted to quit?
All the time.
Yeah. How come?
Sometimes I have a little depression. I want to start the training jiu-jitsu, but then when I realized jiu-jitsu changed my life, made me be who I am, then I hit myself and say, stop being gay and go fight, go sweep, and go
to top, get out of that 70% underneath, right? From bottom and get to that 30%.
Exactly.
Describe your feelings when you received your black belt.
Oh.
I was embarrassed because I was looking so young, and to wear the black belt was little bit weird. Then I took 3 months to wear the black belt. To be honest, the belt that made me more happy was the brown belt. The black belt, I did not care.
No?
I think it was when I got my black belt, I looked like oh man, I become a man. I need to be responsible. With the brown belt, I could do everything wrong. Fight with the people in the street. You know what I mean? Do all kind of bad things.
You were a troublemaker, weren't you?
Oh, yes, I am.
You still are. Huh?
All right. And talking about belts, do you wash your belt?
If it stink, I wash.
If it
stinks,
all right.
Yeah.
Good. I love it. Perfect. That's the best answer.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Well, listen, that was a great conversation. It was a great conversation. Great catching up with you. And we finally were able to actually sit down and talk. So I'm glad that we had this opportunity. And, before we wrap this up, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, are you on social media? You are on social media, right? I mean,
Yeah, I have an Instagram, Helio Soneca.
Helio Soneca.
Add me there.
So
you're going to see the most beautiful man. The entire world. I better look at Brad Pitt.
We need to get Brad Pitt on the show, and then
that's all I could think of. As soon as we started this, I was like, he looks just like Brad Pitt, only slightly younger.
Yeah. So you're 18 at heart. You look 15, but you're 18 at heart. You're best looking guy who really good jiu-jitsu with a legend and who's the best in the world. Sounds
this
good.
year, this year I completed 44 years training jiu-jitsu. Gonna be 45 years training jiu-jitsu.
That's
Holy
unbelievable.
crap. I mean, that's a long time. And
that's a statement in
you still love
30
it,
years. 30 years. I think I'm 30. It's gonna be next year. Gonna be 30 years black belt.
Wow,
that's crazy. That is crazy. If you're listening to this, pause for a second and think about this. 30 years as a black belt. That's an enormous amount of time. What's the one thing that you learned in the 30 years of being a black belt? Like the biggest, the most important part, the biggest wisdom.
The belt just to cover your butt does not mean nothing. If you don't train, you don't honor your belt. This means you don't know jiu-jitsu.
I couldn't agree more. Let's wrap this up on this note. Thank you for being
you,
here.
guys.
Thanks for all the great stories. This was a blast. This was a blast. I love the story of getting spanked, by the way. That was awesome.
All right, Professor. Thank you so much for doing
Thank you,
this
guys.
with
Thank
us, and hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for taking forever to answer you. Okay, guys. Have a nice one.
No problem. It was worth it.
See you.
Take care.
Talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.